it's the Stitches, and today it's time to dive back into my closet because I have 10 wardrobe staples for kawaii fashion. I have a lot to cover, so we're gonna dive right into the video today. Basically, this is 10 items that I feel like should be in every kawaii wardrobe. The pieces that I show you today are all going to be examples. I'm going to give you more of a description of what I'm talking about, but please note that my style doesn't have to be your style. If you want to replace my examples with something that suits you better, absolutely feel free to do that. When you're looking for your wardrobe staples, you should definitely be looking for shapes, colors, textures, things that you feel good in, that you like, and that fit your personal style. I'm gonna start with bottoms. I have 2 skirts to show you. You can absolutely feel free to replace skirts with pants. I went from a very femme point of view today, so we're going to do skirts and dresses. Absolutely feel free to switch it up a little bit. So my first item is this plain pink tennis skirt. So you just want to have a plain solid colored bottom that is in your signature color. Signature color means basically the color that you reach out to most often. For me, that's pink, and half of my wardrobe is pink, so that makes sense. But you just want one basic staple bottom that will go with everything in your wardrobe. And I chose a tennis skirt for this example because tennis skirts are everywhere in Harajuku and Shinjuku in basically all different J-fashion styles right now. So if you're interested in kawaii fashion and you're looking to different J-fashion styles for inspiration, you'll see a lot of tennis skirts, so it's definitely worth it to invest in one really good one. This one is true vintage. It's from the 90s. I got it off of Depop for like $15, so these definitely aren't hard to find. For our next piece, we have a statement print bottom. This can be a statement print jean as well. Those are popping up more and more. I think they were also really popular about 5 or so years ago. I have this soft blue gingham just because blue goes with a lot of things, gingham goes with a lot of things, it fits my aesthetic really well, and it's very ruffly, so it's definitely a good statement bottom. It looks really good with a lot of pieces though. It doesn't really clash with a whole lot either, so that makes it a really good wardrobe basic to have. And this piece is actually handmade, so I think I spent like, I got the fabric on sale, so I'm gonna say I spent like $10 on this piece. But some days you don't want to wear just solid colors, so you want to have a few statement pieces in patterns that you're going to reuse over and over again in styles that you enjoy wearing and feel a little bit more dressed up. That way if you want to go, out to a business lunch and you want to wear something a little bit nicer, you have that option, but this can also be dressed down and worn casually if you want to go to, say, a picnic with your best friend. So this next piece is definitely a kawaii fashion staple that you're not really going to see outside of kawaii fashion a whole lot, and that is a decorative petticoat. This is definitely plain enough that if I wear it underneath something for, say, a Lolita fashion, or just something, if I'm just wearing a big circle skirt and I want it to be poofy, then this is really great for that. It's a good length, and all of my skirts are usually about 1 or 2 inches longer. If not, I can roll the hem a little bit and it doesn't fall down. These are all very good things to have in a regular petticoat. But what makes kawaii fashion as opposed to just Lolita fashion unique is that a lot of kawaii fashion styles will actually take a decorative petticoat like this in pastel colors and actually wear it as a skirt. This is really popular in Fairy K especially. So if you have any interest in Fairy K and Lolita, you definitely want to have a petticoat that can work for both Lolita and Fairy K. Unfortunately, these are a bit harder to find and you're definitely going to want to invest more in them. This particular petticoat is handmade. I spent about $20 on the materials, which is good, but if you're somebody who isn't very good at sewing, making petticoats is an experience. So this is definitely a piece that you might want to consider commissioning from somebody who is good at sewing. I would say spending maybe around $100 on a good petticoat isn't necessarily out of the question. If you're really interested in dressing in different kawaii fashions, you're gonna want something that you can wear over and over again, that you can throw in the washing machine and won't fall apart. So it's definitely worth it to really invest in that kind of piece. Next, we're moving on to tops. And it's kind of the same deal. You want a basic top and a more statement top. So for my basic here, I just have a plain white shirt, because a plain white shirt can be worn with literally anything. But what makes this piece a little bit more kawaii is that it has a really fluffy, soft texture. This piece goes really good in larm outfits, especially since larm does tend to wear more basic pieces that just have like that little bit of girliness added to them in a texture or print. This can also be worn in pop K, fairy K, so many different things. Not necessarily Lolita probably, but there are so many different fashions that you could wear a basic piece like this. I spent about $30 on this because it is old stock American Apparel. When you're looking for older American Apparel pieces, they've retained their value, so they're going to be a little bit more expensive. But you can find a top like this secondhand for, you know, 20 bucks. So my statement piece is actually an angelic pretty top. I only spent $35 on this though. I find that you can get brand cut sew secondhand for somewhere between $25 and $50, just depending on the quality. It does have these little straps that I can put on them with these little buttons, so it can have that little crisscross effect on the neck. What I really like about this piece is that all the detailing is really over the top. There's all this lace and bows and ruffles and all of these different details that just, you know, push it over the top into the kawaii realm. It's still like a basic solid color. It can go with so many different things that I am constantly finding new ways to wear this piece. It was definitely worth the $35 investment, even though it's just, you know, a blue top. I would even say, like, if this had been $60 and I had spent that much on it, this still would have been an amazing investment for me. Even though like $60 is a lot, I still would have been fully comfortable spending that much on a piece that I now know I've gotten so much use out of. And that's another really good thing to look for, is just pieces that you know you'll be able to wear again and again. They have that quality to them so that they can go in the wash and come out just fine every single time. And this is the type of piece that you can have for years on end. I think this was originally made in 2014 and it's 2019 now, and I've worn this so many times. I'm sure the original owner did too, so it's definitely held up. So next we're gonna do jackets. I'm gonna start with my fancy pieces. So every good wardrobe, unless you live on the equator, is going to need some sort of winter coat or jacket. I have a couple different pieces, but I chose this one as an example because it just goes with my other pieces better. Faux fur is really easy to find, and it's getting easier and easier to find it in wild colors. And I also have noticed in the past couple years that faux fur has really been, especially faux fur like this, has really been exploding in places like Harajuku especially. But yeah, some sort of like winter coat that you know will go with most of your things. This piece is very over the top, but it also, the colors go with basically everything. It looks very purple from a distance, but then when you get it up close, it actually doesn't have any purple in it. It's just blue and pink and white, and the shades of blue and pink that it is go really good with basically everything that I own. So Just look for, you don't necessarily have to look for a plain black wool coat like every fashion blogger is going to tell you to buy. You can buy a crazy over-the-top coat, but just make sure that the detailing on that coat goes with your existing wardrobe. My next piece is another one that's very wild but goes with a lot of different styles, and that is a decorated denim jacket. You don't have to go pastel like mine. This is a piece that I dyed. But you can find denim jackets at the thrift store in all shapes and sizes, and the thing that's going to make this more of an investment is the patches and the pins, but it's also a great way to show your love for brands that you might otherwise not be able to buy a full piece from, because a lot of different brands will have small pins or patches that you can buy. I know Lazy Oaf does this. I haven't really seen any from Unif, but definitely a lot of my favorite brands do smaller pieces, like Mokiyobi does a lot of pins and patches. It's also a good way to support local artists. A lot of times local artists will put out pins and patches for people to buy, just have a little thing that you can purchase from them. So with all the decorations, you can really end up spending hundreds of dollars on a good jacket, but you can also, you don't have to buy everything all at once. You can add to it slowly over time. And once you have a really good piece that you really enjoy, you can go with so many different outfits. This would actually go really good with Fairy K, even though it's a punk jacket, just because of the colors. It also goes really good with punk because it's a punk jacket. You can really just tailor it especially to your style, and it's something that will never go out of style. The denim jacket is not going away anytime soon. It was here long before my lifetime. It's gonna be here long after my lifetime. It's something that can really stay in your closet for decades. And after you have your big wild jackets, you're obviously going to want a more casual jacket that's a solid color, also preferably your statement color, so it can just go with everything. Something that you don't really have to think about, that you can just throw on, because that's kind of the purpose of a jacket. This is a piece that I thrifted. It's a sweatshirt material actually, but made into this moto jacket. I bought it when I was still very, very pastel punk, so this went with everything that I owned at the time. I currently don't really have a lot of good jackets that go with every style. That's one of the things that I've been working on getting, but this is definitely one of my staple pieces. I wear it with a lot of different things. I wear it over dresses, I wear it with big crazy outfits, I wear it with more subdued outfits. You can dress up something like this and you can also dress it down, so just keep an eye out at the thrift store. And now we're moving on to dresses. It should surprise nobody that my purple slip dress gets in here, but slip dresses are just not only trendy, but they're a trend that comes back regularly. Slip dresses never really go out of style. They just kind of wane in popularity and then eventually come back. So having at least one or two good quality thrifted pieces. Vintage slips are usually the best quality ones. Modern slips that you can find in stores are either going to be very, very expensive, or they're going to be very, very low quality. So this is definitely a piece that I recommend going vintage with. Scour Depop, find one that's absolutely perfect for you, and then invest in it. This piece I got really lucky with. I did find this at a thrift store, but I have never found anything else even remotely as good as this in a thrift store since, and the thrift store that I bought this at has since gone out of business. So it's kind of hard for me to recommend places to get things like this because I did get so lucky, and getting lucky on slips is something that happens very rarely, but it's still worth it to really look for them because they're so versatile. You can wear this with grunge, you can wear this with larm, you can wear this with Fairy K, you can wear this with Cult Party K, you can wear this with so many different styles, and you can dress it up, you can dress it down, you can layer it so many different ways that, like, you've seen this a million times because there's a million times to wear this piece. And it's been in my closet for, I want to say 3 or 4 years now. And it's still one of my favorite pieces. I've not gotten tired of it. So for our last piece, I have another plain colored dress that can be dressed up or down, but is a little bit more classy, and it's also in a signature color. I didn't include any statement dresses in this just because statement dresses can be worn on their own. They don't really, like, you don't really need to put as much thought and consideration into a statement dress. It's really your basics that you want to put the most thought into and also invest the most money into. This is a bon chance dress. They're only like $35. You can regularly get them on sale for $30, but it's decent enough quality that it's gonna last a long time. I don't suspect that this will last longer than 10 years. I think it'll be more like a 5-year dress, but it's something that's classic enough that I'll be able to get as much wear out of it as the actual garment will last for. And that's really what you want to look for in pieces that are going to be the foundation of your wardrobe. But I do recommend, aside from having a slip dress, just having one staple dress that's good for any occasion that you can throw on to go to a cocktail party or a bachelorette party or a barbecue at your boyfriend's house, or, you know, any of those types of things, because it's like the little black dress but the kawaii version. Like, everybody needs to have a little black dress, unless you never wear black, in which case it's the little pink dress. But yeah, like, at least one versatile one-piece item that can be worn to any occasion, that is that classic shape that really suits and flatters your body and has a really good fit. Something like that will last you for years and years and years, basically until the garment falls apart. You will be able to continue wearing it. You'll probably notice a common theme here with these pieces. They were all thought out, they were all carefully crafted to fit into an existing wardrobe and also to fit a personal style. And that's really like an ideal when you're building an alternative fashion wardrobe. You can't just open up a basic style guide and expect all of the pieces from a normal wardrobe to fit an alternative wardrobe, because we have different needs. But you can use the idea of a little black dress or the idea of a tailored men's shirt and apply that to your wardrobe. The reason normal fashion has all of these rules is because they work. They help people put together wardrobes that really look high-end without having to have a high-end price tag and without having to have an entire walk-in closet to look put together. So when you're reading style guides, be sure to think, why did this person include this? Why did this person select these pieces to fit into their style? And think, how can I apply that mindset to my wardrobe? And when you compare all of these pieces that I've shown you together, they purposefully look like a complete capsule wardrobe. Because once you have the bones of your wardrobe, once you have those structural pieces that really set your style, you'll be able to build off of that however you want. It really is like the skeleton, and you can add anything else to it that you want. That's all I have for today's video. I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I hope that this was educational and helpful for you if you are in the process of building a wardrobe or have been in the process of building a wardrobe for years and not really understanding why it isn't working. I hope everybody finds this helpful, and I hope everybody has a good day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!